Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. I bought this American lock, tubular lock, about a week or so ago, and I tried my impressioning tools on it, and the claw one I had with the little wire on the inside for the indexing and everything wouldn't even fit in the keyway. It was too large or something. And the only one that I had a chance was the 7.8 millimeter HUK out of the 3-piece HUK set. I tried all the different sizes, and none of them would work. But this HUK, I had to hammer it down to get it to fit. So I measured the dimensions, and it looked like the outer diameter of my tube was 0.96 millimeter, and the dimensions of the lock, as much as I could measure, because that anti-drill plate kind of prevented my calipers from getting down in there, and they also don't want to open up too small on there. But anyways, taking various measurements and stuff, I determined that I needed to sand my pick down. At first I tried dremeling, and it was too coarse of a stone, and it made a big a gouge on it and everything, but I'd like to report that we have success. I had been getting it to turn partially, but not all the way, and I was just wondering if one of these would work. Now, my tubular impression tool is not one of the ones that has an indexing pin in it. It's still tight, as you can see. It doesn't really want to come out right now, but it's working like a key, which is what an impressioning tool should do. And there you go. I probably need to sand on it slightly more. Let me pull this out. But what I did was, the first thing you want to do, if yours fits in there and it turns fine, then you don't have to do any of this. But your diameter might be too much, so let me show you what I did. I pulled all these pins back. You want to make sure you do that, because you don't want to sand on those. You just want to sand on these little ridges up here. And as you can see, I got some of it out, but that's that pink colored kind of coarse stone on the Dremel tool, and it was too aggressive. So to get inside of the thing here, and see, let's see if I can show you this. This is the one without the pin in there. I taped a little piece of 320 emery cloth on the inside and tried to do the inside, but I pretty much determined it was the outside. So I took a little piece of this cloth here and just put this back here and did this for a while. And did a lot of that. Alright, I threw graphite in there too to kind of help it, but there you go. It is a removable core, so later on I'm going to pop that. I'm not going to gut it, because I've never gutted as far as like taking the pins out and everything. I've never gutted a tubular lock. Maybe it's possible, but you know what? I don't want to mess it up. I really like this lock, and I was curious as to whether or not an impressioning tool would work on it, and now I know if you can get it in there just right. Like I said, I've messed this one up. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I pulled these pins back, but that's all it takes, basically. On mine, it took a lot of struggling, and you have to tighten down these set screws when you're fighting resistance. Mainly this one for the handle. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this again without breaking out the hammer. Now see, normally you just go in and you push and you twist and it's alright. But with mine, because of the friction fit and everything, I have to give it a little tap just to make sure it's seated all the way down, and then it's a matter of struggling with that thing. There we go. You hear that little clunk clunk? But it works. It sounds a little crunchy and clunky, but it works. And you don't need the indexing pin. For those of you that are curious whether or not you need the indexing pin, because it definitely has a notch there, but you don't need it. I guess it tensions off the other pins. So there you go, people. I hope everybody's having a good time, and that's another successful opening. And now I basically don't have any new locks or old locks that I haven't picked. But this guy right here was giving me, usually it's pretty easy. And the other day, my buddy brought it over. I told him, I was over at his house, and I told him bring me a lock over, and I gave him my keys to my house. And he brought this one back, and I was like, cool, this is usually a pretty easy one to pick. And I sat there and couldn't open it. So some days you can open them, and some days you can't. But this one just took a little bit of work, a little filing down, and that's all you need to do, just sandpapering. I use 320, but you can use whatever you need, mine because of the thickness. And if you get into that situation, like I said, where you got it partially turned, but you can't turn it back, and you happen to have a key, just grind the nub off right there, and it'll still fit. And just line the nub up with the index and even this one will still work as a key. Even though you grind the nub off, it'll still work. You just got to remember to return the key back to the proper position, because you can pull it out without it. There you go. I hope everybody's having a good time. I'm enjoying myself playing around with locks, and my hands are again dirty, but not quite as bad. I washed them a little bit, and then I played around with graphite again. So, American lock, it's a 7260 series tubular lock course. I was just wondering if they increased the pick resistance by adding spool pins or variable tension. And if you can open it with one of these, the answer is no. You don't need to gut the lock to figure that out, because variable spring tension would have defeated this, and spool pins and serrated pins might have defeated it also. So there you go. These are still like they were made many years ago, 7-pin tumbler, and they are impression tool attackable.